Welcome, Taurus, to your in-depth forecast for week commencing the 16th of February for the Ascendant, the Sun, or the Moon. I'm going to share the big themes of the week to begin with, and it's a very powerful week. Then you can see on screen where all the planets are. I'll chat you through those as we go into the week, then go through the changes as they unfold, frame by frame, to give you a clear picture of what to expect. I'm astrologer Patrick Arundel. A very warm welcome. If you're a returning visitor, thank you so much for your views, likes, comments, and hypes. If you're new here, thank you for joining us. If you've yet to subscribe, please do so and help the channel to continue to thrive. So this is a week that sees a solar eclipse in your sector of success for the first time in 8 years. And over the next couple of years, Taurus, if you are wanting to raise your profile, reach a goal or ambition, or be more assertive in your approach, this is the start of the process. But it is a little bit of a complex solar eclipse, and I'll tell you why, because it clashes with the freedom seeker Uranus in your sign. Now, because the eclipse occurs so late in the sign of Aquarius, just under 29 degrees, the sun soon moves on Wednesday into, for you, the part of your chart that's to do with friendship and connections to others. That's the 11th house. It's going to join up with your beautiful ruler Venus and also the North Node, the point of destiny, and the chatty Mercury. But then later on in the week, on Friday, we have an exact conjunction between Saturn, the planet of boundaries, time, but also limitations, and the dreamy, nebulous Neptune on Friday for the first time exactly for 37 years. But for you, they occur in the 12th house, which is very psychological. What's the meaning of that? So we have initially energy in the most visible part of your chart to do with ambition, goals, and connections to the wider world. Then your friendship sector is activated, but also the more reflective, psychological part of your situation too. I'm going to unpack all of this for you. So at the top of the chart is Pluto. Now, Pluto is known as being the ruler of the underworld, but it's also about transformation. And over the last year or so, particularly I feel since November 2024, if you're not enjoying or you haven't been enjoying what you were doing for a living, or didn't feel that your skills were being recognized enough, Pluto's given you a push to perhaps change things because continuity is very important to many Taurus people. You like to know where you stand. So that familiarity is a great gift. It gives you stability, but it can at times perhaps make you a little wary of just releasing what no longer serves. So this is a week, particularly with the moon so close to Pluto, that your emotions around how you're perceived or how you are connected to the world at large are very heightened as you enter it. But then the moon moves forwards and comes into a conjunction with Mars. And a Moon Mars conjunction in the 10th house makes it more difficult to disguise how you really feel because Mars can be very dominant in the 10th house, and that's no bad thing. And if you have got very innovative ideas that you want to push forwards with, the combination of the Moon and Mars will give you the confidence to share how you feel the Moon. But the moon in the 10th house is usually more concerned with the material world. And of course, the moon itself is about protectiveness and security. So if you are talking to a boss, a line manager, a potential client, you're having an interview or doing a presentation early in the week, it may be more difficult to just keep your emotions out of view. But that brings us to Tuesday, that solar eclipse at just under 29 degrees. It's the sixth successive new moon at 28 degrees. Fantastic synchronicity. And it does forge a right angle with Uranus. So apart from 4 months last year, Uranus has been in your sign for 7 years. And during that time, it may have pushed you to release things, to demand more space and independence. It may have seen you more outspoken. It may have seen you become much more interested in astrology, which Uranus certainly governs. But if you work in an environment which is pretty set and the expectations of you are very formulaic, and you are more of a free spirit, more of a creative or a bohemian, I think the next 6 months could push you to make a decision with sticking with that because it's comfortable, familiar, and maybe gives you a good return financially. But if it is in some ways choking off your passion, it may be something you want to review. But then the sun moves into Pisces on Tuesday, where you have Venus in that lovely link with the North Node. If there is someone that you're forging an alliance with at the moment, it could get stronger over the next few weeks, but don't be surprised if it is someone you've met or encountered through your work or professional situation. If you do a lot in your community in terms of voluntary activities, that also can be an area where friendships can develop. But at the end of the week on Friday, that combination exactly as Saturn and Neptune, for the first time in a conjunction for 37 years, even though they were very close last year for 3.5, well, 3 months and a week exactly. They were very, very close. That gave you a little bit of a taster of maybe parts of your situation that you know are coming to a close. And also, if you are someone who's wanting to understand what makes you tick at a deeper level, over the next 2 years in particular, with Saturn in your 12th house, that's an area of opportunity, particularly because Chiron is in the 12th house, but in a very positive sextile to the Sun. So you may find yourself talking to someone even this week who has a lot of experience or knowledge that can help you to unlock parts of your nature that have plenty of growth and maybe a deeper understanding of yourself. But really, the other aspect to tell you about this week is between Jupiter and Mercury. Because if you are someone who is bubbly, you've got good ideas, you want to share them with people, or you just want to get together with some friends after what has been a very busy time for you in terms of your professional situation, Jupiter's link with Mercury is first class. Mercury may not be at its best in Pisces, and Jupiter may be in a retrograde, but he is exalted in the sign of Cancer. So your communications can be bubbly, but also heartfelt. You can share how you feel with authenticity. So to summarize, Taurus, it's a week that does ask you to think very carefully about what you do for a living, how people perceive you. If you have your own enterprise or would like to start a business, those ideas and thoughts are really going to be activated by the solar eclipse. But likewise, if you're in a situation that feels stale, you feel stuck, maybe it's time for a rethink. Your conversations with others over the next month will help to clarify things, but you do need to stay very deeply in touch with the more psychological part of your being. And if you've yet to watch your February deep dive forecast, I really would recommend you do so because I go into a lot more depth about the Saturn Neptune conjunction, the solar eclipse, but critically in the last week of this month, we have a very turbulent right angle between Mars and Uranus. Please click on the image on the screen to take you through to that video. And also, if you'd like to take advantage of my offers on my printed charts, you can get your personal forecast full 12 months from the time of order, plus your life roadmap, and apply Astro 26 at the checkout and get 50% off. If you're interested in soul or karmic astrology, you can order your draconic forecast and chart and get 50% off by adding Draco 26 at the checkout. Take care, all the best, and goodbye.